Und damit hallo und herzlich willkommen, meine kleinen Schneckchen. Und damit hallo und herzlich willkommen zu I read Boyfriend's webtoon, so you don't have to. What the hell is this? What is this? No, download free to play, bro. Bro. I ain't playing any of that shit, bro. I'm Alex D. I ain't playing any hentai games today. Bro, ich bin gerade auf einem trying to get demonetized speedrun, bro.
Am I toxic? I think I have a crush on too many guys. There's someone in particular. He's annoying and makes me big spoon him.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Shut up already. I've got a video to intro and some preteens to clickbait. Hi again, guys, and...
Was?
He's annoying and makes me big spoon him.
Yeah, shut up already. I've got a video to intro and some preteens to clickbait. Hi.
You have been clickbaited. Reakt. Gott. Warte mal. Sorry. Mein Beileid. Warte mal. Darf ich mal. Erstmal. Hallo. Hallo. Das sind Shadows perfekt toll. The weirdest. Okay. Ach, Vollbild ist auf F.
Hi again, guys, and goddamn, y'all either love to watch me or love to watch me get hurt. I was really not expecting the turnout on that last Boyfriend's webtoon video. Like, what the hell? I said 40,000 likes to finish reading the thing, and y'all smashed that in less than a day. It's safe to say you do not have my best interest at heart. And unfortunately, for once, I wasn't lying to you. I read the whole first season of the Boyfriend's webcomic, which is the first 100 chapters. There's like 20 more out right
100 Chapter! Dieser arme Mann hat seine Zeit verschwendet. So wie ich meine Zeit für euch verschwenden werde, indem ich Sonic X ein zweites Mal gucken werde oder Beyblade X das erste Mal für euch durchgucken werde, wenn ihr sagt, was ihr sehen wollt.
now, but they're all a part of a separate season. When I started reading them, it didn't make a lot of sense to try and shoehorn them in here, especially when they're just getting started. And look, we have this clean 100 number of chapters to beat to death right in front of us already. If y'all enjoy this video, there will be this big card at the end that takes you to the last Boyfriends video I did. And did you know only a fifth of y'all are subscribed with notifications on? It's a little homophobic. If you subscribe and hit that bell, you'll never miss an upload. It's free and it means a lot. Plus, you can always undo it later if you decide you hate me. Now, the same...
If you decide you don't like me. Ja, ihr müsst auch nicht subscriben. Danke an die Leute, die trotzdem subscribed haben. Die 3 Leute, die mich da subscribed haben. Danke. Alex D. appreciated euch.
Disclaimers from the last video apply here as well. I'm not here to just shit on people who like this series, to shit on
I'm trying to shit on the people who like this.
the author for daring to make it. I'm not here to shit on anyone who makes stuff for boyfriends or to shit on you if you don't like it. I am happy sitting with this fence post 30 inches up my ass. That being said, I still have opinions, and even...
Ich hab die neue Season Fortnite gespielt. Na, doch. Doch, eigentlich schon. Ich habe die neue Season gespielt. Ich mag die neue Season. Ich, hab den Battle Pass kostenlos bekommen, keine Sorge. Kostenlos. Mit den V-Bucks, die ich kostenlos verdient habe durch Spielen over die Seasons. Und ich mag den neuen Battle Pass. Der Skin, die Nachtrosel mag ich. Genauso wie die Ninja-Katze. Und ich mag den Gleiter Kaito. Ich weiß nicht, warum ich das jetzt sage. Lasst uns Aria fragen, was die Lieblings-Fortnite-Season dieses Charakters ist. What's your favorite thing about the new Fortnite season? What's your favorite thing about the new Fortnite? Warum? I'm excited to share some highlights from the new Fortnite season. The genuine to want some thrilling features the players are buzzing about. Here I've used Kinetic Blade Godzilla evolved out from Fortnite Crew subscription leaked features. Who's your favorite skin and the new battle pass? Who's your favorite skin in the new battle pass? Fortnite battle pass. I got people up my ass. Unique design, cool ass. Es mag Dörberger, habe ich das Gefühl. Ich lese mir das jetzt nicht durch, Bro.
Even though I'm always right, they're still just opinions. And trust me, I got lots of them bitches. Anyways, like I said, this thing is long as hell, so going beat by beat through the whole thing would keep us here until my child graduates middle school. So instead, I'm gonna give you the commentary channel. I only watched a 5-minute summary of this 300-episode anime version. Boyfriends is about 4 guys who also like guys. They have names, but not ones that get said in the story, so I will be referring to them by the stereotype that they are all based off of. They get called those things in the webtoon anyways. And these fellas are prep, goth, jock, and nerd. Off of. They get called those things in the webtoon anyways. And these fellas are prep, goth, jock, and nerd. They all end up being mutually in love with each other in a little polycule, but not before pairing off into their own couples of prep and jock and goth and nerd. Prep and goth are roommates and have had sexual tension between each other the whole time. They've even fucked, apparently, but you know, like platonically. And it took this whole polyamory thing for them to seal the deal on what they both apparently wanted this entire time. Listen, prep is more oblivious than a rock in a forest fire, but they ended up getting their dream boyfriends, plural, eventually. Just took over a decade of miscommunication. The rest of this webtoon story structure is like this. It isn't. After Boyfriends does all the setup to get these boys together and dating, plot kind of takes a backseat in the series. Like, technically speaking, there is a continuity, time does pass, and characters do change in some ways as they go on, but the comic is almost entirely told in a slice-of-life sort of format. In some instances, it's non-linear, so it's almost an anthology series, putting it in the same ranks as Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's usually the author will take a given pairing of the 4 main characters, whether it's just 2 of them at a given time or all 4 of them at once, and have them go on some cute date.
Okay, nice.
Idea. They all went to an amusement park one time, and then from there they split off into separate groups to go on their own adventures. Nerd convinced every other boyfriend to go rollerblading with him individually at one point. Nerd and Jock go to a Twice concert because they both like it. It's a bunch of lighthearted stuff like that. And since I am a Boyfriends webtoon god defender now, I am going to be pointing out some of my favorite moments. In episode 64, Prep and Goth are doing the 2 people, 1 controller thing and sucking absolute dick at the game. But eventually they get a win, and after they do, they make out passionately, calling the other person a better gamer god than them. I find this worth bringing up because a lot of people will misinterpret this as something they're doing because they're dating, when it's actually common gamer practice. I don't...
ja, wenn ich wenn so Freunde bei mir rüberkommen und wir machen das auch so, wir gewinnen so, ja, wir machen erstmal 5-mal, wir knutschen uns alle ganz hart ab.
Play Apex myself, but my buddies who do, whenever they're in call and they end up getting a dub, the amount of kissing and wet slapping noises I hear over Discord could be mistaken for a broken shower head.
The slapping noises? Was?
In episode 29, we find out that Goth canonically plays Rainbow Six Siege for 75% of his waking hours, making him the first boyfriend to be both simultaneously homosexual and homophobic. In episode 36, there's an unabashed Among Us reference.
Emergency meeting.
I understand this got posted in like May of last year, but reading this in current year made me jump out of my seat screaming, and I gained the ability to breathe fire in my rage. It was definitely an overreaction, but that game has turned me into a very emotionally damaged individual. But moving on.
Among Us war nice. So lange, bis ich auf der Switch spielen musste und Nintendo mir alles ruiniert hat. Spielt Among Us nicht auf der Switch, spielt auf PC. Spielt auf dem PC wirklich. Oder auf dem Handy, falls ihr so weird seid. God fucking damn it.
Like you have to do with every comic book character, we need to power scale our protagonists. Which one of these fuckers has the best shot of beating Goku in a fight? The most ridiculous feat I could find from one of these schmucks was from the Jock, where in episode 58, the other three are watching Jock at football practice, and a ball gets kicked at Goth. It probably blocked out most of the sky for him at this point. It's literally right about to make love with his cranium. But in the fraction of a second before the ball can close the 3 feet between it and Goth, Jock manages to notice the ball is gonna hit Goth. He runs so fast he gets ahead of the ball, picks up Goth and puts him in Prep's arms, and is then still able to catch the ball after, with speed, strength, and reflexes
Sonic the Hedgehog als Mensch.
like that. Assuming that neither of the combatants had prep time, Jock would solidly defeat Batman. Jock also gets canonically called a cuck in
Was?
episode 23. Cool stuff. Now, this format is pretty straightforward. Every run of a couple chapters will be dedicated to a date idea before moving on to whatever cute scenario the author wants to put the characters in next. Sometimes with the previous one having elements that flow into the next, whether one of them suggested it or it's vaguely related to some shit they just did. If this setup sounds sweet and sugary enough to give you gum disease, congratulations, you need a tooth filling now. There is next to no serious or lasting struggle in this story outside of the boyfriends being awkward initially and miscommunication about being attracted to each other at the start. And I feel like this is by design. I believe this uninterrupted human centipede of fluff is the reason a lot of people decide that this series is cringe. More on that later. As far as central themes go, the only recurring takeaway I get from this webcomic is that talking with your partners, S in parentheses at the end, is important to maintaining a healthy relationship. The whole meme is that none of these schmucks have done polyamory before, so none of them are sure how it's meant to work. So to figure shit out, they need to be open with each other. The primary conflicts you'll see in this series is characters, both the protagonist and side characters, setting boundaries with one another. It's a lot of talking about why the things that another person is doing are bothering them. In certain more indirect cases, it'll be one character getting another to think about how their actions can make other people feel. In other cases, it's where a lack of communication is holding two people from having a stronger relationship with one another by setting those boundaries. Other than that, though, this webtoon seems more concerned with creating scenarios that I imagine the author thinks is neat and would be cute, lol, as opposed to being some deep, thought-provoking piece on the nature and reality of being a certified boy.
Was ist das bitte? Was zum What the hell? What the hell? Sonic T Hedgehog, Sonic Maurice T Hedgehog, Knuckles T Kidna, Miles Tails Power, what the hell? Son Goku, Obama, oh nein, Obama, Naruto, was? Mordecai, SpongeBob, Vegeta.
Lover. Honestly, the Boyfriend's webcomic reminds me a lot more of fluff fanfic than it does any other type of media. Hell, there's even several chapters where in-universe a character writes a Mermaid AU about the main Boyfriend's cast. They even give Goth tentacles for lemon-lime related reasons. That's honestly the best way I can describe this comic. It feels like the author was infusing just a lot of their own personal likes into it as a sort of outlet, and if I'm playing my role as an armchair detective correctly, then it seems like there's a lot of fandom/fanfic culture holdovers in there. It's a personal piece for the author, as most writings are. They've explicitly stated that Goth is a self-insert character for them. They do a whole arc that is tantamount to the fabled sick fic, which, if you aren't as chronically online as me, is a category of fan fiction where one or more characters get sick and another or several other characters take care of them until they stop sneezing all over the bed. As far as general presentation of this whole thing, I found the art style to be consistent and easy on the eyes. It's going for that very soft and sweet aesthetic, and yeah, it does it super well. If you didn't like the Land of Milk and Cookies scene from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, you probably won't like this. this. But personally, I don't mind it at all. It's nice seeing this stuff instead of everything going on outside. The dialogue is honestly nothing special. There were a few jokes I found funny.
He kind of looks like you, doesn't? Stimmt, ja, stimmt.
And a few things that I found to be a little too cringe for my taste. Now, you may have seen this coming with how I've talked about this webtoon up till now, but I really don't have any major issues with it, at least not with it existing. While I was reading through it, I definitely had my ups and my downs, but it wasn't exactly a roller coaster. It was more like one of those kiddie coasters where the highs is a foot-tall hump before you're back at sea level. All the emotions I felt while reading this were pretty muted. I was either like, huh, that's pretty cute, or huh, that's pretty horny. There were certainly pieces of dialogue that made me wince a little, but nothing that I was thinking about in my head later going, God, what the didn't exactly lose sleep over this. It was all kind of just sweat that rolled over my back into a general indifference. And I think that's in large part because I don't think this comic was really written to be taken that seriously. To me, this webtoon is like the fanfic porn without plot tag, except with fluff instead of porn. It's there to be soft and not much more. It just is what it is, and I didn't have too many thoughts about its quality level outside of that. I'm not the target audience for this, but I would dare to say that I probably enjoyed this more than the average reader would. Now, speaking of the average reader, this webtoon has been shat on by just about every open asshole
I hope they get into a car crash and die.
on the internet. I am one of them, but I think I'm in the rare position of being one of those gaping anuses that, against my better judgment, has actually read the damn thing. So I'm in a really unique spot to talk about the common complaints of the boyfriend's webtoons from. So I'm going to take some time to give my general thoughts on a lot of what I'd heard people saying up to the point of me reading it, now that I've got the hindsight of reading it. And also, yeah, because I like hearing my own voice. I think the thing that most people will say at a glance
Normala is blaming all your problems on them.
Whether because they only saw those somewhat grating boyfriends animations or they just hate gay people, either one is valid, is that the webtoon is just straight up crap.
But no wonder people are homophobic. This is scary AF. Bro, I'm gonna be homophobic. Bro, innerlich bin ich ein bisschen homophobisch. Also wie die Höhen finde ich schon ekelhaft.
Like I said, there are bits of dialogue
Sonst hab ich nichts gegen die.
or moments in the story that made me scroll
I wanna jump out the next window I see. Oh wait, I have a window there.
down a little faster than normal, but it's nothing super bad in my opinion. If cutesy stuff repulses you, just forcefully prolapses your anus, then yeah, you won't have a good time with it. And I think if that's your only problem with it, and you just leave it be beyond that, it's totally fair. This is definitely not something for everybody. Hell, it's barely even for me. A criticism I see about the actual content pretty often, though, is that the characters in the story are very flat, that they don't really have much development beyond their
Nerd ist 19. Die meisten von denen sind 21. Wie können die mit dem rumhängen?
stereotypes, and there isn't really a well-rounded story told about them. And as far as everything after the getting together section, I pretty much agree. I just don't think that's necessarily a problem. I've seen a lot of people comment specifically on how the webtoon doesn't realistically represent queer romance or romance in general. It doesn't adequately address the complexities of poly dating, and it just simplifies everything into working out. It simplifies these characters into really common character tropes, and they're not much else than that. I don't think that they're wrong. The series takes a really simple approach to most of the things it does. It's just, to me, it doesn't seem like the webtoon webtoon is trying to be anything more than simple fluff. It's cheesy, it's sugary sweet, reading it is like puking after eating 20 clouds of cotton candy. I don't think it's trying to make some grand statement about how these things work in real life. It's explicitly trying to be separate from it. It's very clear this webtoon's world is kinder than ours. From the jock's mom being accepting of him not only having a boyfriend, but 3 of them, to homophobia pretty much just not existing, you're right, it's not realistic, and I kinda like it that way. It's pure escapism and not much more. It falls into stereotypes for sure, and there's an argument there over if it's reinforcing harmful ones, but by that same token, there are people who find comfort in those stereotypes. They just want something to be their hug box at the end of their 10-hour school day or 60-hour work week. I understand if you want more like thought-provoking stories about things like this. I just don't think that Boyfriends as a webtoon is obligated to be that if the author doesn't want it to be. Brain-dead stories of more socially accepted relationships exist everywhere all over fiction. This webtoon seems like it starts and stops at, hey, turn your brain off and look at this cute shit. If that's not your speed, totally get it, but I don't really see the harm in it existing outside of that. To me, it's not really an issue with the webtoon so much as people's own expectations getting in the way of seeing something for what it is. If you want a riveting story or some proper angst about sexuality, you won't find it here. If you want a story that switches it up a bunch, you won't find it here either. Boyfriends has got a formula and it
Okay, nice. Nice, Bro. Ich wünsche euch noch einen schönen Tag und damit sage ich ciao, ciao. Also ciao.